smart guy. I am guessing you're thinking of a guy with crazy hair and a lab coat. Well, that is what Albert Einstein looks like. Here is some helpful information about him. Albert was born March 14th, 1879. Then Albert's sister Maya was born 2 years later. Albert didn't talk till he was 4 years old, but he could still talk, but he just didn't want to and he didn't need to. He got expelled from school at age 15, and he had to move with his family in northern Italy, and then he moved to Switzerland to go to college, and there he met Melva. I met Melva, and then later married her in 1904. I got a job as a patent clerk, a Swiss patent clerk, and I got to see if people actually, like, if the patents were like new and interesting, or if they're like the same model as something, if they're the same model as something we have today. And that's where I did my best thinking. And in 1905, I had four key papers. One was E equals mc squared, E equals energy, M equals mass, and C equals the speed of light, and relativity. This is a example of relativity. If you're courting a nice girl, a second seems like an hour.
Other way around.
An hour seems like a second. If you're sitting on a hot cinder, a second seems like an hour. That's relativity. Then I made a paper of photoelectric effects that was one ingredient used to make TV. Then 14 years later, light bend was true. Then I moved away from my wife Melva in 1920. Then I married my cousin Elsa in 1922. I also got my Nobel Prize for photoelectric effect in 1922. And I traveled the world. In Japan, at my arrival, it became a national holiday. In Spain, I got to meet the king, and in Washington, I got to meet the president in the White House. And I was an enemy of Hitler in Germany, so I had to move to the USA. And there I made a note to Roosevelt that we need to make an atom bomb that could destroy one city and 1 million people. Because if Hitler built the atom bomb first, he could destroy the whole world. And also, I am Corky.
On cue. That was awesome.
I shave with water. I only button the top button of my coat, and my brain's full of physics that I have no important stuff to put, like where I don't have, so I don't know where to go to get back to home, and I don't wear any socks. And then my wife Elsa died, so I had to live with my sister Maya. Then Maya died, and then 4 years later I died with a sheet of equations next to me. And I also had directions next to me. They were that put my body into ashes and put the ashes in a secret place and give my brain to science. I over 100 scientific papers. I was one of the most brilliant people in the world. So here's some of Einstein's quotes. A person who never made a mistake, never tried anything new, is simply doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different results. Only a life lived for others is a life worthwhile. When you are courting a nice girl, an hour seems like a second. When you are sitting on a red-hot cinder, a second seems like an hour. That's relativity. Learn from yesterday, 5. Live for today. Hope for tomorrow. The important thing is not to stop question. Here are Albert's best years and Albert's early years. Here's a picture of him when he was 4 years old. Here's a picture of him when he was 14. And here's a picture of him when he was 3 and his sister Maya when she was 1. And on the inside, here's Albert Einstein and here's all the things he did silly, and here's all the things he did smartly.